The fight for human rights in Cuba has intensified in recent years. Our report for the 2023 Universal Periodic Review of Cuba sheds light on the escalation of repression and the crisis surrounding respect for and protection of fundamental freedoms in the country. As the world watched, the Cuban people took to the streets in July of 2021, demanding change amid economic hardship and restrictions on basic necessities. Their cries for freedom were met with repression. According to information received by Amnesty International, more than 700 people are still imprisoned for participating in these protests. The Cuban government introduced a new penal code in 2022, further limiting freedom of expression and peaceful assembly. Provisions such as contempt and public disorder now carry harsher penalties, smothering dissent. Activists, political dissidents, and journalists live under constant surveillance, with their movement restricted and their voices silenced. The individuals still imprisoned include José Daniel Ferrer Garcia, Luis Manuel Otero Alcantara, Michael Perez Castillo Osorbo, Donaida Perez Pacero, and Loreto Hernandez Garcia. Those facing years behind bars for speaking out and are considered prisoners of conscience by Amnesty International. Their families and friends also suffer as they call for justice and the release of their loved ones. Cuba's control of the internet stymies the flow of information and shuts down the ability to organize, affecting the right to inform and be informed, and the freedoms of expression and assembly, among others, becoming yet another tool of repression. In the midst of socio-economic hardship, Cubans wait for hours to try and access essential goods and services. The increased number of people leaving the country highlights the urgent need for greater promotion and protection of human rights in the country. In November, Cuba will be evaluated in the Human Rights Council as part of the Universal Periodic Review, a periodic examination of the human rights record of all United Nations member states to promote improvements in the respect for and protection of human rights. The fight for human rights in Cuba continues, but even when voices are silenced, the world continues to stand in solidarity, demanding justice and freedom for the Cuban people. Join us and support the Cuban people for a future free from repression. Write to your Ministry of Foreign Affairs, asking them to provide recommendations for the next Universal Periodic Review to put an end to human rights violations in Cuba. Act now.